This time of year always makes me rethink what's in my closet. I'm trying to keep fewer things, but better ones, pieces that are well made and easy to wear all the time. That's why I keep coming back to Quince. Quince, the fabrics feel elevated, the fits are thought. Don't you fast forward. Hey! Don't you fast forward. You listen to me talk about Quince. Wait till you see my stand-up comedy special, Packing for Rehab. Guess what I'm wearing on stage? Quince. Guess what I wear when I go to a meeting and I want to look handsome? Quince. What kind of Quince? Khaki pants, plain white t-shirt. Feels silky and soft on my body and I feel like a handsome man. Feel like there should be music playing as I walk around. The best part is that their prices are 50 to 60% less than similar brands. Guys, just go to Quince and look for yourself. You hear this all the time, this ad. You're always listening to other stupid podcasts talking about Quince. Well, why are we talking about it? Because it's awesome. Refresh your wardrobe with Quince. Go to quince.com/morestories for free shipping and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada, too. Go to quince.com/morestories for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/morestories.
With Sam's Club, you have the freedom to shop your own way. Curbside pickup? Delivered to your doorstep? Come in and grab it yourself? Yes, yes, yes. They've got plenty of options. Your call. Say yes to shopping the way you want. Join now at samsclub.com/yes and. You must be 18 years or older to purchase a membership, and membership is subject to qualifications. Visit samsclub.com/yes and for details.
This episode is brought to you by MGM Plus. From and its Horrors returns for season 4, centered around a town that traps all those who enter. Terrifying creatures that come out at night. Horrors some wished had stayed buried. Where desperate hope leads to darker truths. Dangerous new arrivals, a sinister figure, a shocking revelation. New episodes of From, Sundays on MGM Plus. Some doors should remain closed.
Put your name on it. Just put your name on it. That's all I say. Be a man or a woman. Put your name on it.
Why don't you do what I did? Just get that $40,000 hair plug. This cost me a lot of money.
You did not really do that.
I did.
For real?
I was fat and bald.
That's amazing.
I agree. And I had this clown on my phone.
Who did that?
Dr. Ziering, Beverly Hills. I'm not going to Turkey I'm not going to fly to Turkey to let some guy operate on my head.
There are those who do that. There are those who go overseas. That was you?
That's me, fat and bald. That's 2 years ago.
Gadzooks, man.
You know what? You may be my favorite guest just for saying Gadzooks. So you have a house, Bonnie, Joe Prano's here, Kyle, Katie, Keith.
Hi, Katie. Hi, Joe. Yes, my wife, Haley. We have a child. We have a 7.5-year-old son. That happened. But we have a house bunny. It was actually the bunnies. I'm giving things away now here. I hope I'm not being indiscreet. But my wife, we were on Maui for a year, and this was 12 years ago. And my wife had her 40th birthday. And her friend came over from L.A., her bestie. And needless to say, when they're together, things happen.
They make rabbits.
Well, they found a bunny at this pet shop in Kihei, and
Hawaiian bunny.
A Hawaiian bunny. Home came the bunny.
Right on, dude.
Yeah, and the bunny's now 12. It's a house bunny. It lives in the house with us. It's really cute.
Here in L.A.?
Yeah. Well, we're actually in Santa Barbara.
So, was there any weirdness flying it back to the States?
Well, Clooney is the bunny's name, and she was United Airlines' first emotional support rabbit.
It's phenomenal. Did you have to wear like a little vest or anything?
No, we couldn't.
I
tried to actually. There was a harness that we were going to put on her with but she bit the shit out of me when I was trying to put it on her, so that didn't happen. Anyhow, we carried her in the cabin.
Clooney the bunny. My sister had rabbits when I was really little. My older sister had rabbits, and we had this hutch that was half inside, half outside the garage that my dad made. It was kind of like a nice engineering structural thing, but then,
like an indoor-outdoor pool.
It was like indoor-outdoor hutch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, the one was named Checkers. Something's always has to be. You can't have a home life without something named Checkers or Cleo.
Yeah.
Or whatever. What was your favorite toy as a kid?
Fanner 50.
Huh?
The Fanner 50.
The Fanter?
Fanner, Fanner, the Fanner 50.
Pull that
I'm
up,
older
Carl.
than you. You will not remember this, but during my childhood, which was the Western was king, and Western television, and I watched them all. And you know, it was a toy 6-shooter. Basically, it was called a Fanner 50 because you could
Oh, wow.
fan it. It was a cap pistol.
And it's got a white handle like Jim
Yeah.
Hardy from Tales of Wells Fargo.
Very good.
Yeah, no, that's my. We're speaking the same language.
Yeah,
He's a lefty also.
Fanner 50. Yeah,
Are
I
you a
did have
lefty
at
or-
one
you're a
point.
lefty.
I'm a lefty. Well, it's funny you should ask. This I just had done this morning.
What was it?
Have you heard of trigger finger?
Yeah, my dad has it.
Well, here is this on this finger, on this hand, it started to catch. And then it would curl up during the night, and I would have trouble opening it, and it would hurt to open it. I play guitar, among other things. You know, I'm not a great guitarist, but I play well enough to have like written songs and such. And I was not able to play. And I had like 3 cortisone shots, and the doc said, "Yeah, 3's about the limit." And then I went to this guy, and he said, "Well, I could give you a code." And apparently, he's the guy. And he said, "I could give you some more cortisone, but I wouldn't recommend it. It tends to deteriorate the blah, blah, blah." So I had that done this morning, and I was conscious for it. It's just a local anesthetic. And now I have to be.
But what
sure
did
I
they do to
this? Well, they make an incision here, and then they actually go in and strip the tendon, or at least shave it. And he said, my tendon was, he said, on a 1 to 10, in terms of trigger finger, you were a 9. It's a good thing you came and did this. And then they discovered that apparently my heritage, because on my mother's side, I'm Ashkenazi. And apparently, if you are of that part of Northern Europe, your ancestry, there's something, and I can't remember the name of it now. It's a French word,
Entrepreneur.
Dewey rep, something like that. It's a structure in the palm that occurs particularly in that people from that ancestry.
Yeah.
And that can exacerbate this condition. So when he went in there today, he basically shaved the tendon so that it would
Did they
pass
put you
through
out for this case?
No, I was conscious. Yeah.
Isn't it weird, like the weird small talk they make with you when you're awake? I had a fatty tumor taken out of my head. And as I'm laying on my side, he goes, "So did you fill out a bracket for the tournament this year?" He's like, "You want me to talk?"
Now, this was interesting today because the doc that was working on me, he had a student actually watching, observing, and learning from him. And so I was listening to him teach as he worked.
Oh, that's
and he
probably-
discovered some anomalies when he went in there that he wasn't sure would be there. But having discovered them, he did a couple of extra things to make sure that it wouldn't come back.
Showing off in front of the student.
It's okay.
Yeah,
he
no, you
can
want
show
that.
off. I mean,
Yeah.
if it works, we're good.
You know, all doctors do that. Wait, I don't know how to act when there's a server with a shadow. Like, oh, they're training. Hi, I'm Michelle.
yeah.
This is Brandy. She's shadowing me. I don't know which one to look at because she's learning. I should be talking to her. But every doctor does that. They have like a student that they bring up to speed, which means at some point there's a gynecologist with like 3 students standing around just looking at beaver all day. And if has that ever happened to you, Katie? Really? That's got to be they got to ask your permission, and you're just like, yeah, have at it.
Okay,
You
now
can
here's-
see some
here's
anomalies
one,
in here.
Here's one of my wife's history.
Anomaly Katie, they call her.
And maybe one day you'll have the great pleasure of meeting my wife, who's hilarious. But she describes an experience she had, and this is like 15 years ago, with a stuttering gynecologist.
Your
Vagina.
So my friend Robbie Anderson lived in Santa Barbara. I'm going up there the 31st. He died for his memorial. So maybe I will meet your wife. I'll just swing by the house.
Great. I'll give you the address.
Meet the bunny.
Meet the bunny.
And meet the house bunny.
Now, does the house bunny go to the bathroom in like a
But
kitty
boxes,
litter?
There's boxes of hay. There's litter
Oh,
boxes.
little
There's,
hay
she has a
boxes.
cage. Now she's so old. She's 12 years old, and she's virtually immobile. But she's sitting there enjoying life, and she licks your fingers in your face if it's close enough. I mean, she's
I gotta know what that feels like. I've
It's-
never felt a
it's
bunny's tongue
crazy.
on my fingers.
and bunnies are really soft.
Yeah.
They're so soft. Anyhow, she's really cute, man.
Are you a good shot with a gun? Because you got trigger fingers.
I have been. I
Why
wouldn't,
are
I
you
wouldn't
laughing?
dare. I wouldn't dare.
Why? I mean, do you go to the range and
Go
stuff?
for the bunny. No, you know what? I do.
Oh, I wasn't
have-
doing the bunny joke.
Yeah, no. It's been a temptation. Well, only because, this is a very expensive rabbit.
Hold on, can we just rewind? Your wife had a stuttering gynecologist. I don't think we gave that enough.
Probably not. But unfortunately, she is not here to describe the experience because when she talks about it, you can't breathe.
What's
her
your
off
wife's
and say
name?
that. Haley.
You did say that.
H-A-Y-L-E-Y. Haley.
So wait, you have a 7-year-old?
We do.
And you're
I'm
70?
76. Yeah. What the heck am I doing?
Boy, you're strong like bull. That's what you're doing. You're a Carradine, goddammit. You're a Carradine.
Yeah. Well,
Science be damned. The dolphins are in the tank. That's amazing.
It's fantastic. It was a long time
you guys
coming.
have the same
We've been together
bedtime?
almost 30 years now. So it was a long time coming with us. But it was something I knew.
Is she? I mean,
She's younger than I, obviously.
Well, I would
she's
hope
50,
so.
52 now.
only I'm the guy that marries somebody older than him.
You did that.
My third marriage, I'm the only guy that went older.
Yeah,
I
but you got it right.
I sure did. So the trigger finger, is it from actually shooting or is it from playing guitar?
It's probably more from playing guitar, and it's. I mean, this is I play right-handed, so this is where I play the chords.
A lefty that plays right-handed.
Yeah, I'm a kind of a strange lefty.
I'm
I mean,
a
I
righty
write
that
left-handed,
rides a
I draw
skateboard
left-handed.
lefty.
I play all my sports right-handed. I eat left-handed unless I'm eating with chopsticks. Then I eat right-handed.
We were just
We were
had
just
a
talking about chopsticks.
just had a chopstick conversation.
WTF? I mean,
I'm
some
right-handed,
reason.
but I ride a skateboard lefty and I fight lefty
uh-huh,
and I wrestle lefty, which is
Yeah, you're a wrestling fan.
yeah. Well,
I
I
heard
coach.
this about you. You coach it, huh?
Yeah, yeah. So I was going to ask you, Imperfect Women. Let's get the plug up front so we don't mush it at the end. Apple TV.
Yeah.
Imperfect Women. Have you ever used an apple as a bong?
I have not.
Have you ever thrown an apple at someone else?
I have.
Yeah, it's a good feeling.
It wasn't a whole apple.
No,
It was a core.
me and
And in my youth, the way it went was you went apple core, and somebody says Baltimore, and then you throw it.
oh, so it's like Marco Polo. You got to get
Kind of,
clearance.
Yeah.
Have you ever had rock fights as a kid?
I have not had a rock fight, but my older brother Christopher got in big trouble because this was 1955, 56. He got a leather jacket with zippers and stuff, and he decided he was tough. So he got with some friends, and I think I was 6, he might have been 8. And he threw a rock and it hit a kid in the head and cut his head, and the kid had to get stitches. And Christopher, my older brother, he was in trouble for that.
Did he get retired from the rock throwing, or?
Oh, he never did that again. He actually became an extraordinarily successful architect. He was in show design at Disney for 30 years. He was an Imagineer there.
Oh, he's vice president, was he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Christopher is quite brilliant.
Well, I think you're pretty brilliant too, my friend.
I'm pretty smart in certain areas, but he's kind of off the charts.
I was explaining that to my son, who may be having inferiority issues at school as far as curriculum goes, and I'm like, there wasn't a single thing they could teach me in school to be a stand-up comedian, and that's all I cared about and wanted to do. And like just trying to explain to my son, like, just relax. This is the game. You got 4 more years. Were you a good student, or?
I was average. I could
Where'd
have
you
been
go
a
to high
better
school?
student. I went to high school in Ojai. I went to a boarding school for 10, 11, 12. I was living there.
Why do people send their kids to boarding school? Hear my son.
Well,
Ian?
in my case, it was because my dad sort of he ran out of places to put us. I mean, he'd been on his 3rd marriage. That one was falling apart. And there was kind of nowhere else for us to be. So Bobby and I both went to boarding school in Ojai. Christopher, by that time, had graduated high school, and he'd already split. He'd gone off and started doing his own thing.
Ojai in that time must have been an amazing place too.
Oh, yeah.
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 What year? When was this?
I was there. I graduated 67, June of 67. So I was there for 3 years, starting 64, 65, 65, 66, 67.
Were you ever worried about getting drafted for Vietnam?
Oh, yeah.
That was a real, like, people go like, oh, the country's coming apart. It's never been this bad. I'm going to introduce everybody to 1969, where they just were shooting people willy-nilly. Pell-mell.
I did the whole dance with that one. I did. Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Well, by the time, I had to report for my, when I turned 18, and I went in, and I had a deferment because I had blown my knee out, so it was legitimate. I had a trick left knee, and I was given 6 months to heal that. And then I went back for my next visit 6 months later, and it was in San Mateo. My draft board was in Oakland, and I was at my grandmother's house in San Mateo. And there was a big rainstorm, and the electricity went out, and my alarm clock didn't go off, so I missed it. And then I was down in L.A., and I got another notification about the same time that I was joining the cast of Hair. So Hair came to town to the Aquarius Theater. They had auditions for replacements. And my brother Dave and his buddy Jeff Cooper, they went into audition. They had me come along to play piano for their audition. Ragney and Rado saw me playing piano, and when they finished, and we were walking off the stage, they asked me if I sang. And I said, yeah. And they said, would you come back and sing for us? I said, okay. So I came back, I think, the next day, brought my guitar and sang, actually, the first song I'd ever written. Dreadful. Awful song. But, it was my first crack. It was called When Will I Find Her? Oh, it was pretty lame. But I sang it. And like 6 weeks later.
Hold on. That seems exactly 1960. I mean.
This is 1969.
Yeah. So you're either doing, Magic Bus.
Right.
Or you're still holding on to those 50 ideals and morals.
Well, I was kind of, having had a mentorship in the form of my older brother David, during my late teens and early 20s.
Wow.
I got some lessons from him.
I bet.
Certainly philosophical lessons, but also kind of lessons by example, which I've never felt I could completely live up to. David was unashamable. You couldn't embarrass him. And he was fearless. And he really did not care what anybody thought. So it gave him enormous freedom to be whoever he was at any given moment. And in fact, he was with my wife, Haley, and they were going to a concert. I think it was a screening of a Dylan documentary over at the Ford Theater or something. And they went into the parking lot, and there was a spot right in front, but it had cones in it. So David said to Haley, I was out of town, and he was taking her to this, and he said, move the cones. She said, no. He said, no, just move the cones. So she got out, and she moved the cones, and he parked, and, they got out of the car. And he said, in life, every once in a while, you got to move the cones.
Got to move the cones.
Yeah. And he said to her at that moment, he said, Haley, if you ever learn to not give a shit when anybody thinks you'll have the world by the balls.
Isn't that a life lesson for all of us?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Was it ever, when he would be wise, did you ever be like, all right, this isn't kung fu, bro. Like, this is real life. Did you ever push back on his wisdom?
No, well, we would have moments where I would maybe push back a little bit. But I didn't make a habit of that, mostly because most of the time, what he was laying down was just so much fun. I just enjoyed it and my time with him. I mean, I miss him every day, that his philosophy. There's one thing that he said that I sort of have never forgotten. He said, just remember that there's no situation that can't be made worse by calling the cops.
That's fucking sweet, bro.
I couldn't agree with that one more.
And the other thing he said to me, Kuth, he used to call me Kuth. He said, I'd rather die regretting the things I've done than the things I haven't done.
R.I.P., big bro. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Do you think would you consider yourself a Nepo baby with your dad?
Absolutely.
And you go, that was quick.
No, I can't argue with that. I mean, just the name would
Did you ever
open
have
certain
imposter
doors.
syndrome, having followed your dad and your brothers, you guys all being in show business? Was it ever a battle to sort of separate from the pack? Like, maybe I want to be the ugly duckling in this crew.
I did have a conscious awareness of
I'll
trying
be a
to make
stuttering gynecologist on this side.
Yeah. I was aware of making choices that I thought would keep me in an area that was going to be my own area. So I tried to choose stuff to do. One of the things I was concerned about coming up when I first had some success was I didn't want to be pegged in a character type.
Joe gets pegged all the time.
For forever. I wanted to be able to do different stuff.
Well,
I wanted to be the Western patina sort of kind of came naturally because of the old man and all the Westerns and his relationship with John Ford and all of that. And in fact, I loved that. I loved being out there. I mean, I'm a decent horseman now, and I love being out and doing that. But I didn't want to just do that. So when The Duelists came along,
Harvey Keitel.
Harvey and me, Ridley Scott's first movie. And when that came along, I said, it's funny because I was on the road touring with my band. And I remember Ridley calling me several times because we'd met, and he said, "Are you going to do this?" And it was for Paramount. And I was having a great time on the road playing music. And I didn't want to stop. And Ridley said, I remember he called, I think I was in Chicago or something. And I answered the phone. Keith Rid said, "Hey, Ridley." He said, "So, man, are you gonna come do this?" And I said, "I don't know, Rid." And I was kind of looking at the script and wondering. And he said, "Keith, we're shooting in Sarlat." I said, "Yeah." He said, "It's in the Dordogne." And I said, "Okay." He said, "Think of the food." I knew nothing about the food in the Dordogne, but I guess a foodie would go, "Oh, truffles, foie gras, all of that stuff." Anyhow, I wound up doing that. And I really wanted to keep doing different stuff. I didn't want to always be the same guy. I didn't want to be a personality performer. For one thing, I never felt like I had that. I didn't feel like I had a personality that was marketable that way. I felt like I could play different people. I felt as though I had that in my bag. But to always sort of be the same charming guy, a la those guys, those major guys who did that, the Cary Grants of the world.
Yeah, who would want to be that?
Well, not that many people can.
Do you think that came, like your dad's recognized as one of the greatest character actors of all time? Do you think that was you going in the other, being aware of your dad's life and
Yes.
maybe assigning his struggles personally with professional?
Probably on a certain level, yeah. And I remember I was doing a picture with Alan Rudolph, and we were talking about doing another picture called The Moderns, which we eventually got made. It took us like 12 years. And John Bradshaw, who was then married to Carolyn Pfeiffer, who was one of the producers, we were shooting up in Seattle. We were shooting a picture called Trouble in Mind. And we were out to dinner one night talking about The Moderns, and that Alan wanted me to play the central character in that, who's an artist living in Paris in the 20s. And I remember Bradshaw exhorting me over dinner. He said, Keith, you're not a leading man, dude. You're a character actor. You got to realize that's what you are. And I thought, okay, well, this is a character.
Yeah. What does that mean to you, character?
Well, I think it generally
I actually
means,
have it written down, and we just got into it naturally.
You have a definition?
No, I have. What does character actor mean to you? Like, what is that? Like, you hear it all the time.
To me, it just means it's somebody. The way I operate is I find what's in me that is that guy.
I'm sorry. Can you hear my dog snoring in the other room?
Did I just put him to sleep?
No.
Okay, new subject.
No, that's her natural state. It's just I just see Kyle looking over, sound man over here. You don't hear her sawing logs? So, sorry. A character actor to you is...
I don't want to put the dog to sleep, man.
No, that's all she does. She's like me. If sleeping's a hobby, I got a hobby.
Yeah, a character is it's somebody that is who I could be, but am not. But I could be. So I find that.
Yeah.
And, and it's funny, I get scripts where sometimes the dialogue is difficult. It doesn't feel natural what you're being asked to say. And I always find my way into it. I don't try to find my way out of it or get it changed so much as I try to find my way into it. And the way I look at it is, listen, if somebody could think to write it, somebody could say it.
That's very Mamet, very just like...
Is that
this,
Mamet? Is it?
Like, this is how this guy talks, so all I have to do is stand here and say these words.
Right.
Like, there's no character, there's no backstory. I've
done a lot of movies with Alan Rudolph, and he and I have worked together a lot. Alan has a really distinctive voice, and the way he looks at things, at people, at behavior, at human behavior, and the way he doesn't tell stories so much as he lets kind of emotional lives unfold. And then there's always an arc to it. It always goes somewhere. There's a beginning, middle, and end, but it's not necessarily based on plot so much as interaction of people and their different natures as they interact with one another. And a lot of times his dialogue feels very unnatural. I've never had any trouble with it. There are other actors that I've worked with Alan who, come into moments where Alan, I don't know how the fuck to say this, man. And Alan will say, I don't either. Don't say it. I mean, he's pretty loose that way. But because he has that distinctive voice, I don't know. I found my way into that over the years. And in fact, we did a film together called Choose Me years ago. And it got a wonderful review. Well, I got a wonderful review from Pauline Kael on that movie. And she said that I was probably the only actor who could make Alan Rudolph's dialogue sound natural. Which was kind of a backhanded compliment. I mean, it was complimentary to me, but it was like a slap to Alan. But Alan and in fact, we're trying to do something again. He's written a script that I'm hoping we can get made.
Speaking of scripts, you're in one of the great TV shows of all time, in Deadwood. What's it like when you read a
Guess
David
I'll cross
Milch
out my Deadwood
script?
questions here.
Well, listen, the reason I got there was because of Walter Hill. Because Walter, he's a dear friend. We've worked together. First time was on The Long Riders, which was the film that all the brothers did. The Western that basically starred everybody and his brother. And Walter and I have worked together a few times since. We did Southern Comfort after that, and then a couple of things for television. Then he did Wild Bill with Jeff Bridges, and he had me come in on that one and play Buffalo Bill. And then when Deadwood came along, Walter was chosen to collaborate with David Milch and shoot the pilot. And Walter called me up and said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, it might be your turn to play Hickok."
Oh my God, that easy?
Well, that's what he said to me. Now, it seems that easy. And I said, he said, "What's your hair like?" And I said, "Walter, it's running out, man, but I have a really good wig." It's the same one that we had made for me to play Buffalo Bill. So I had the wig. And I said, "So I've got that." And he said, "Well, you're going to have to meet with Milch." He was going to meet him at his house. And then I remember Walter talking to me before I went out to talk with David. And he said, "Just remember, you're a man killer. You're a man killer." Now, I am not a man killer. That's not me.
Right.
But I suppose there's something in there that if I had that existence, I could get there. And that's what I tried to find. And I sat with Milch at his place in Brentwood, and we talked for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, And then Walter said, "How'd it go?" And I said, I think it went okay. He said, "Well, we're going to do a read-through, but you're cast now, but, you got to have blue eyes, so go get some contacts." So I did that. And then we had this table read with the whole cast, and, McShane and everybody was there. And I didn't realize until the end of that hour plus reading of the pilot script that was my audition.
Oh,
it was HBO.
Yeah.
And had I known that, I probably would have fucked it up.
Yeah.
But because I didn't know it, because Walter, I was there under his aegis, and he never gave me a hint that was what was going on. So I felt free, and I felt approved of. So I was able to be loose.
Did you think you had the part going to the table read?
Yeah.
Oh, smart.
Walter let me think it.
Right, great.
That was him.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
So Deadwood's one of those shows that I didn't see when it was happening. Drug addiction will... TV and speed. TV and speed aren't really...
I'm glad you're back, man.
Speed and
Me
Western.
too. Yeah, TV and speed don't really mix. So I see it way after the fact, and I just... It's Sopranos, Deadwood. Immediately, like, right under Sopranos for me all time.
Yeah.
And then when you come on, I wouldn't think... First of all, I was like, that can't be...
People still don't know.
First of all, you look 6'6". You look giant. I don't know if it was your acting. I don't know if they made you taller.
Must have been the camera angle.
Did they make you...
I'm 6'1".
When you think back,
but-
wasn't he like a big, giant guy?
Yeah.
Like lumbering around these creaky wooden saloons.
Yeah.
You had such presence. When you were on screen, everybody else kind of went away.
You know what? Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't feel responsible for that. I have a wonderful memory of the experience of doing it, of working there, and feeling as though I was in the pocket as we did the work. In fact, there was one day that we shot for a full day, and at the end of the day, it was a bunch of stuff in the saloon, and Walter was directing. He was on the pilot. And we did the last scene, and he said, "Wrap," and I started to walk out, and he stopped me at the door to leave the set. And he said, "Kid, you hit it out of the park today." And I thought, yes. Okay. I wish I could do it on purpose every time. I remember hearing a wonderful story about Olivier when he gave a performance of when he was playing Othello, on the West End, and that, you can't do that now, obviously. A white guy can't play that role anymore. But he did that, and apparently he gave a performance one night that was so astounding, and he came back and Maggie, is it Maggie Smith, who was playing his Desdemona, and she said, "Larry, that was extraordinary." And he was like throwing a fit and having a fit in his dressing room. And she said, "That was so amazing. What's the matter?" He says, "I have no idea how I did that."
That's why, yeah. What is that? I used to say, if you want an actor to look absolutely ridiculous, just tell him, just be yourself. just do it as you.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know how to do anything as me.
Thanks for the existential crisis right before.
No, but when you do stand-up, that's you, right? I mean,
Yeah, but that's me controlling all variables.
Right.
I thought it, I wrote it, I produced it, I'm directing it. You're all on my time. It's like
Right.
being a drummer in a band. Like if I'm out of tune, the whole band's out of tune.
right,
And then all of a sudden, as an actor, it's being the wheel compared to the spoke in the wheel.
right.
So if like you, if there's a character and I can do an impression of what I think that guy is, and I can just kind of put that spoke into the wheel. But then if you ask me to just do it the way I am naturally, now I'm no longer pretending to be the spoke in the wheel. I guess you said it best. It's like an existential crisis. I got to get back to The Duelist.
Okay,
Harvey Keitel, one of my all-time favorite actors.
fantastic.
I can't imagine a world. There must have been a lot of cocaine back then, because I can't imagine a world where people go, what about Keith Carradine and Harvey Keitel playing French guys?
There are those who still complain about it.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Is it true you put batteries on your swords so they would spark?
The batteries were not on the swords. The swords were wired and then wired down and out the leg to a battery pack that was then connected to
What could go
a
wrong?
chicken wire screen on the wall, so that when the sword connected with the chicken wire screen as it went across, it created an arc and made the sparks.
Was there any injuries?
I think I got Harvey's thumb at one point.
I would just goose Joe all day. Like I would just totally be like, "Hey, Keith, oh sorry." I would just pretend I was bumping into you by mistake.
Yeah, in that particular duel, we had shot for a full day. It was grueling, hard, physical.
They're heavy, those swords.
And they're heavy. And we were using real sabers because they had the light ones for us to use, but they just didn't have any heft, and it didn't look right. So we used the real ones, and we were careful. They were dulled, obviously. They didn't have a sharp edge, but they were heavy and they were metal. And yeah, if you, I think we connected, and I think I got Harvey's thumb on one of the things where I missed, and it wasn't.
Keith just cut my goddamn thumb.
But we had shot for a full day on that, and then we were shooting the next day, and it took 2 or 3 days to shoot that fight. And we were filming the next day, and we got word back, because we were shooting in France. The film was being sent back to London for processing. So it had to leave France and go to England, which meant it had to go through customs. And the French and the English sometimes don't get along. And there was an instance where the French customs department decided to open the canisters and see what was in them, which basically exposed all of the raw film and destroyed it, and we had to reshoot everything.
What's your favorite Harvey Keitel movie? How about this? Let's go 2 ways. I'll open it to the room. Favorite role and favorite movie. Because my favorite role isn't necessarily like Pulp Fiction's probably Mr.
Pulp Fiction is way up
Pulp
there.
Fiction. That's got to be it.
I mean, what he did in Pulp
Role-wise.
Fiction was
It's a 22-minute drive, gentlemen. I'll be there in 19.
Yeah.
fantastic.
Understand you have a dead body in the car?
Fantastic.
I'm going to go Bad Lieutenant is like, I don't know. What do you have to do to get nominated for an Oscar? He's butt naked, smoking crack. He's a crooked cop.
Who do I have to blow?
He's got a hard on for a nun. There's a rape. Like, what do you got to do to get a nomination around
I
here?
can't remember who the actress was, but it was back in the day. She said, "Who do I have to fuck to get off this picture?"
What about Bad Lieutenant?
No,
no.
it wasn't Bad Lieutenant.
Oh, my
It was
God.
like a Betty Davis line or somebody like that.
That'd be great if it was like a real fat, ugly lady. Who do I have to fuck to get off this picture? Crickets. So I'm going to say Bad Lieutenant. It might be favorite role and favorite movie. You got
favorite
one?
role and favorite movie.
But Mr. Black?
I know.
Well, Harvey and I have worked together more than once. And I do
Wait,
have.
hold on, we got to answer this question, though.
Okay.
Favorite Keitel movie?
I think for me, it's Pulp Fiction.
Yeah. Understand your wife comes home, finds a dead body in the car, she'd be none too pleased. Let's not start sucking each other's dicks just yet, gentlemen.
That part. Pretty
Kyle, with sugar on top. Clean the fucking car. Yeah.
He's great in the piano. That's right.
He was
I forgot
wonderful
about
in
the
the
piano. He was
piano.
really
Oh,
good
I
in the
did.
piano.
With those big, goofy, like, hats and stuff. And
Yeah.
there's a scene where she's having a meltdown, and Keitel, it's almost like he's not, it was almost like he just goes, what has happened? He says it so beautifully. Oh, and it was up against Schindler's List. Any other year, the piano sweeps every Oscar, right?
Yeah.
What happened to the Oscars? What are we doing? All right, favorite Keitel movie?
It's just a publicity stunt, the Oscars. It's a promotional tool. It has been ever since it was first invented. I wonder what my dad had to say about it was, how do you decide who gives the best performance unless everyone's playing the same part?
Yeah. Make sure that's a one shot. I've still got hope. Don't put me in his fucking bad mouth in the Oscars. What a jerk. I'm such a fan of the
I don't
Oscars.
badmouth. Hey, I
No, I'm
have one,
joking.
man. I'm not gonna.
You have an Oscar?
I do have
Hold on,
one,
before
so-
we go any further, what's your favorite Keitel? Did you just answer
Yeah, he
it?
said
I
Pulp
did.
Fiction.
Oh, and you?
I'm going Pulp Fiction for role, and I hate to go Tarantino, but Reservoir Dogs for movie.
Nobody on Bad Lieutenant, huh?
I mean, it's great, but
What kind of businessman are you? You can't back your own product when he's smoking the guy's crack. Smoking crack, and the drug dealer goes, "You know this shit's gonna kill you, right? What kind of businessman are you? You can't back your own product." Okay, so I'm having a great time.
Good.
I'm so happy you're here.
I'm having a good time too. Is the dog still asleep?
Yeah. And where's Ellie Mae? On the ground, Dale? It's almost dinner time, that's why. I use the Fitbod app. You should too. How about these fitness influencers are trying to sell you less for more? Fitbod combines the workout planning and tracking you need to stay consistent and make progress. I want to burn calories, burn fat. I want to concentrate on my core. So that's what I do. Turns out I'm not a max guy. I'm a rep guy. I got to bang out my reps, and Fitbod takes care of all that for me. Fitbod can help you guys personalize your workout routine based on your goals, fitness level, and available equipment. Fine-tune that workout with experienced certified personal trainers to bring best practices and exercise science to you. Level up your workouts with customized fitness plans that work for you in over 1,000 demonstration videos. Look, somebody can tell me to do a Bulgarian squat. Sure. But what the hell does that even mean? There's no How do I know who's a Bulgarian in here, and how do I squat them? Oh, that's where Fitbod comes in with the over 1,000 demonstration videos, so I know how to do the exercise properly. You don't need a personal trainer to get the results you want. All you need for a personalized workout is Fitbod. Level up your workout. Join Fitbod today to get your personalized workout plan. Get 25% off your subscription or try the app free for 7 days at fitbod.me/more, MOHR. It's going to change the game. It is changing the game. It changed my game. I used to be a fat potty. You're a fat body, private pile. No, not anymore. Fitbod.me/more, MOHR. That's fitbod.me/MOHR. Jay Mohr here to tell you about Blue Chew. Time for you to get bonered up for your partner. When your partner sends you that eggplant emoji, oh boy, it's on. I know that feeling. You get all that rumbly in your stomach, like, oh my gosh, I'm actually going to do it. But sometimes it doesn't work. That's why you get Blue Chew. Blue Chew is the best. Less talking, more rocking. Less hanging, more banging. Less thinking, more dinking. Seriously, who wrote this? It's simple. Chew it and do it. Don't let your mind get in the way of a good time. That's my thing. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so great. The only thing that would make this bad is if I lost my erection. Beep. Cue the slide whistle. Beep. That's the sound of the Blue Chew kicking in. Man, they've been on a mission for years to get you bricked up, build your confidence, and help you actually perform in the bedroom. Their new arousal-boosting formula, Blue Chew Gold, is helping millions of men have better sex in 2026. Most ED meds only focus on blood flow. Blue Chew Gold goes further by combining 2 ingredients for blood flow with 2 ingredients for mental arousal and connection. So you're not just physically ready, you're actually in the mood. We got a special deal for our listeners right now. When you buy 2 months of Blue Chew Gold, you get the 3rd for free with the promo code MOHR, M-O-H-R, like more girth, more stiffness, more boner action. Go deep into the 4th quarter with that boner. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the podcast and getting us all rock hard.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. Stop waiting around for the perfect candidate. Instead, use Indeed sponsored jobs to find the right people with the right skills fast. It's a simple way to make sure your listing is the first candidates see. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs have 4 times more applicants than non-sponsored jobs. So go build your dream team today with Indeed. Get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
Pepsi Prebiotic Cola in original and cherry vanilla. That Pepsi taste you love with no artificial sweeteners and 3 grams of prebiotic fiber. Pepsi Prebiotic Cola. Unbelievably Pepsi.
Your favorite local grocery stores like Kroger, Ralph's, Fred Meyer, and more are now delivering on Uber Eats. Get 40% off your order of fresh, quality ingredients. Whether you just got home to an empty fridge or suddenly got a craving to whip up something new, you can get everything you need delivered in as little as 25 minutes. Get 40% off your order with code Kroger2026. Plus, members get $0 delivery fees. Order now on Uber Eats. Orders of $30 or more save up to $25. Ends 4/30/26. See app for details.
So you won an Oscar for Best Song.
Correct.
I wrote, what's the song?
I'm easy.
I'm easy.
Like Sunday Morning, covered by Lionel Richie.
No.
And thank God
Mine came
Lionel Richie
first.
made it. I
did.
said covered by Lionel Richie.
Well, that's good. Thank you for that.
I mean, that's got to be, for a guy that was in a band touring around,
Yeah.
to win an Oscar for Best Songs, got to be sort of like the feather in the cap, like I'm out of here. I'm just going to retire to my ranch now.
Well, I wish. It didn't, it was an odd circumstance because the song was in the movie. ABC Records had the movie soundtrack. They didn't hear a song from that movie that they thought was a single. David Geffen saw the movie in New York and called me. I was in my house in Topanga. I'll never forget it because I answered the phone. He said, Keith. I said, yeah. He said, David Geffen. I said, who is this? Really? Come on. And he said, no. It's just, and he convinced me, it was really him. He said, I saw your film last night. I said, yeah. He said, yeah. He said, I heard your music. I said, yeah. He said, you want to make a record? And I said, yeah. He said, okay. That's how that happened. So I went and cut I'm Easy again because I had recorded it with Richard Baskin producing for the Nashville soundtrack for ABC Records. But now I'm signed to Asylum, and I'm cutting an album, and we're going to include I'm Easy on that. So I go in, and David Geffen has signed John Guerin to me as my producer. John Guerin was the drummer with the LA Express. So he brought in all these amazing players, these jazz cats, people like
You're like, what are these guys doing here?
Lee Ritenour and Dave Grusin did all the arranging, played keyboards. I mean, it was amazing.
Is that the kind of guys you wanted?
Well, no, not necessarily, but I was
so.
just kind of giving it up, man. I said, because the way I wrote, it wasn't like in the pocket pop. I wrote a little bit different. And so it lent itself, because of the chord structures and things that I was playing, it lent itself to that kind of an approach. So I just went with it. And so I wound up with 2 singles of I'm Easy.
Okay.
And I think it was the Asylum single. You know what? I'm not even sure which one it was, but one of them, I think it was after I won the Oscar. There was a DJ in Buffalo, New York, who heard the record and played it.
Airborne Eddie.
I don't know. To this day, I don't know who it was, but he played my record, and I don't know whether it was the ABC 45 or the Asylum 45. I still don't know. All I know is he played the record and got 150 phone calls. Play that again. And so he broke that single for me. Broke that song. So suddenly, now the song is on the radio, and people are calling in to hear the song. There's 2 45s out. There's one on ABC Records, and there's one on Asylum.
How does that get?
And they sound different.
Well, they're different productions.
Yeah.
Well, how does
but it's
that
the
get-
same song.
How does ASCAP divide that money?
Well, I mean, I'm the songwriter and I'm the publisher, Well, actually, I had to split the publishing with Bob Altman. Bob was smart, but yeah, but no, it's okay.
I guess so. You're doing a cover of your own song, so different.
I've got 2 different singles out there. So in terms of
there was no overlap contract.
In terms of Billboard keeping track of which song was selling what, the 2 of them combined was a gold record. But there were 2 separate ones. So neither one of them sold over 500,000 copies. Between the 2 of them, it sold close to 1 million. But between those 2 separate singles, one on ABC and one on Asylum, as a result, I didn't get rich from that record.
Rich in spirit. That's got to be validating.
Yes.
Yeah.
And actually, the real validation was the first time I heard it on Muzak.
Where were you?
I have penetrated. I was in Shreveport, Louisiana.
Yeah. And like a Woolworth or?
I was in a hotel elevator. I think it was when we were shooting Southern Comfort. Yeah.
Well, we were just talking before you came in, like when I got a Grammy nomination for stand-up album.
Yeah.
It was just so validating. I never anticipated, Keith, how much that would mean to me.
Yeah.
But being recognized by the industry, it's always like money, pussy, money, pussy, money, pussy. And then you go, no, we just want to take a moment aside and let you know you're one of
which. What comes first, the money or the pussy?
For me, it was always the big P. I'll figure the money out later.
But then the question is, how does it get arranged? Are you getting the pussy because of the money?
No, I never had it. I was just a struggling comedian in the village. I used to steal those 5-gallon water drugs, and people put coins in them. I used to steal 5 quarters out of my roommate's jug because that was a falafel. It was $1.25. I could have a falafel, and that kept me.
Where was that? Where was that?
That was on Spring Street in the village.
In the village.
And then I knew I'd get a sandwich.
So NYU? You were going to?
No, I was doing stand-up at a high school.
Oh, you were doing stand-up.
So I knew I'd get fed at the Comedy Cellar at 1 a.m. So if I could just sleep late enough and get a falafel or a slice of pizza, that would tide me over till the 1 a.m. sandwich.
Playing New York.
The best.
It's the best.
There's nothing like it. It's like you really feel like you're a part of the machine.
If you can make it there, you can make it anywhere.
That's what Buddy Hackett used to tell me. He used to always tell me to do.
It's a song.
Yeah, no shit. And what if Altman had half of that?
I wonder.
Was that Liza's before Frank's?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
God damn, I love that woman. Let's not get too sidetracked. I wanted to ask you about eras. You've played almost every decade, every era in the history of man.
Well, starting with the 70s, I'll give you.
No, you go back to like you're a fucking duelist.
Well, yeah. Oh, yes, I see what you're saying. Yes.
So which one do you think you'd be? What do you think is your sweet spot as a real living human being? And I'll open that to Joe also.
Probably, Alan and I did a film called The Moderns. It was supposed to be Paris in the 20s. So I'm an American expatriate. I'm a forger. I'm a painter. That's my deal. Is I'm a good forger, and I get hired to forge some masterworks. I'm Modigliani. I'm a Matisse, and a Cézanne, and that's kind of the heart of the story. When I went over there the first time in the 70s to Europe, and I did a couple of movies. I did this little independent French movie that was shot on 16 millimeter, and then I wound up doing an Italian movie with Tom Skerritt. We shot that all over Southern Europe, in Italy, and then France, and then Spain. I loved Paris when I was there, and I went back several times to work. But the feeling of that era, and we didn't even get to shoot it in Paris because we didn't have the money. We shot it in Montreal. We shot it in the French Quarter in Montreal. But the feeling of that era, and what I learned about it in the course of making that film with Alan, I know I have a soft spot for it.
1920s Paris.
20s Paris,
just being rebuilt.
Hemingway. It's between the wars. It's the lost generation.
Yeah, because here in the States, you got a huge depression coming up.
Yeah.
So you got that clock ticking. But 20s seemed to be a party all the way around.
Yeah.
On both sides of the ocean.
Yeah. And then, because I got to do the 30s with Altman when we did Thieves Like Us. So that was the next, and that was American.
That's what made me think of the question,
Yeah.
is the 30s with Altman.
Yeah.
I don't want to be that far back. Maybe I'm a hypochondriac. I don't want to be that far back.
You need the modern.
Where like all you need is a nice cold compress on your head. You'll be fine. Like speaking of Westerns, everything's like, I'll get some water.
Well, yeah.
You just put a little thing on a guy's head. He's like, I'm feeling better. The gunshot wound's
bring
coming.
me hot water, lots of it.
Hot water. Yeah. You just put a little thing on a guy's head.
The doctor always wants hot water, lots of it.
There was no medicine.
Yeah. No.
He died from infection all the time. So I don't know. But you know what always fascinates me? I'm going to go 50s, I think, is my answer.
50s is great.
Nice steak, muscle car, white
my
t-shirt
first
and
car
jeans.
was a 60 Corvette.
Oh.
Yeah. I bought it with my refund from doing hair for a year in New York. I got $1,400 back from the IRS. When I got back to town, it was early 1970. And I didn't have a car. I was borrowing David's cars. David had 3 Lancia Aurelias. And I would always be driving one of those. And then I had to get a car. And I saw this. I found this. It was a 60 Corvette. So it was 10 years old. It was 1970. It was pale blue with white cutaways. Cost me $1,000. So I had a Corvette and $400.
What would you do to get that car again?
Life was sweet.
What
would I do now? I mean, I kind of kept it going. I dinged it once. I had it gaffers taped because they're plastic, you know, or fiberglass. And I actually gave it to my brother Bobby, and I told him I'd sell it to him for $300. He never gave me the money, by the way. And then he became he was a Mulholland racer. He was big time part of that gang. And one of the first cars that he raced Mulholland in was that Corvette until he crashed it. You know. And then,
what's your era?
I think 70s, like psychedelic. I feel like I'd do well in some like.
But yeah, I don't know. People around you would do well.
Hawaii surf days and eating a lot of drugs.
50s in LA must have been paradise. There's nobody here.
No, there was nobody here.
When I think of like
I lived
Chet
in
Baker
Calabasas. We lived in the Adobe, the Leonis Adobe, which is now a museum out there. It's a state historic landmark. But we were the last family to actually live in that place. And so we moved in there in 49, 50. 55, we moved in there.
Wow.
And we were there for 4 years. Ventura Boulevard was a 4-lane street. There was no 101 freeway. And Hidden Hills was right across the street, and we'd walk over there from where we lived.
And people don't know, like, Malibu in the teens and the 20s, that's like where gangsters went to hide out.
Right.
And if you were on someone's property and you got your head blown off, there was no trial, nothing. Like it was really like the Wild West.
Yeah.
Like the Rand, the woman Rand. There's a building, the Rand. It's a great book, The Queen of Malibu, and she's the one that kept blocking the railroad from going up the coast. That was everyone's dream.
Oh wow!
Because it took a day to get from downtown LA, where people all lived, to a day at the beach. A horse and buggy took a fucking day. Right. It was arduous. It was awful, and you might get jumped and bootlegged.
So was the red car part of the answer to that? That was the streetcar that ran to the beach from downtown?
I don't know.
And then it eventually got torn out, and now they've put something back in. So.
I think so, but she fought it tooth and nail. Yeah. Her husband was the billionaire or whatever, was like that. He died, left her everything, and then everybody moved in like, okay, we got a dopey broad in charge. Right. Here we go. And she was like shotgun on the property, holding everybody off. And like, so you said Topanga Canyon, Mulholland. Were you a part of that, like 60s, 70s, like Crosby, Stills, Nash?
Well, that was Laurel Canyon.
Yeah. Was there that much?
When I got back from New York, from Hare, that was early 1970, and I lived in Laurel Canyon until right after Nashville. And then I came back from shooting Nashville. We shot that the summer of 74. And I came back, and I had just enough money to put a down payment on a house in Topanga. And that's when I went to Topanga. But up until then, I was in Laurel Canyon. So I had, I had some life there.
Do you think your role in Nashville, Tom?
Tom.
Do you think that bled into your personal life where people thought, because it was so good?
It absolutely did.
Because that happened to me with Bob Sugar and Jerry Maguire. Right. People just assumed I was a dick.
They think that's who you were.
For like 20 years.
Right. No, when I went out on the road, I got my first tour because of the record. I got the record because of Geffen, and all of a sudden I had the opportunity to go out and do that. So I was playing the road, and that character had come out, and I would get approached quite often by women who expected me to be that guy.
Tom Frank.
Yeah. And it was unnerving because it wasn't who I was. In fact, I remember it was about halfway through.
You're
we
the
were
complete
shooting.
opposite of that.
Yeah, well,
You're not a cad.
No, I'm more of a Chevy. But attaboy. But halfway through filming, I remember going up to Bob. We were shooting the exit in stuff where I performed the song, and I was not happy. When he first cast that movie, the guy that was going to play my part was Gary Busey. Gary got a pilot called Texas Wheelers with Jack Elam, so he dropped out of Nashville. And Bob moved me from the role that I was going to play to that part. And he brought in my friend Alan Nichols, with whom I had done Hair in New York. He brought Alan in to play the part that I was originally going to play. So about halfway through, and I wasn't happy playing this guy. I wasn't comfortable. And I didn't like it. I felt like he was kind of an asshole. And I was young enough and insecure enough to not want to be thought that was who I was. It bugged me. So was
there someone in your life that it reminded you, and I'm not leading the witness, was there someone in your life that reminded you of, that there was a visceral step, like, I don't want to be like this?
Well, it kind of reminded me of Busey. But anyhow, halfway through, and Bob was standing outside. We had this big trailer out there that held all the recording equipment because everything was done live. So we had everything hooked up, and then all the machinery that was recording the 16-track machines, or maybe there was an 8-track in there at that point, was recording everything. And I was standing outside in the parking lot between takes, and I said, Bob, he said, yeah. I said, I don't feel good, man. I don't feel like I'm doing anything. I don't feel like I'm good in this. I don't feel like I'm doing what he said. You're fine. Wouldn't talk to me. Just said, you're fine. Walked away.
That's kind of worse.
That kind of. But he's so smart, because what you see in the movie is a guy who does not like himself.
And isn't sure how he's
because
doing.
It's an actor who doesn't like who he's playing.
Right.
I wish I could take credit, but that was Bob, who saw what it was doing to me to have to be that and thought it was gold.
Have you directed?
No.
It's got to be
I'm
hard.
too lazy.
Me too. I need a nap every day. I can't.
That's too much work, man.
Yeah, I need a nap. I need an hour a day to nap, and you can't have that.
I remember Lee Marvin being asked that once. He was a friend. Somebody asked him if he wanted to direct. He said, no, that's too much work, man. I don't want to work.
Right. My wife I say that all the time. My wife's like, what do you mean? You can't go through life not wanting to work. I'm like, I've done it my entire life. I'm the only guy that goes, no, you can have my line.
Well, the thing about what I have chosen to do, and I can still play music. I still do. I still write songs. I'm still doing that. It's part of my life, always will be. And eventually I'll be able to play the guitar again.
Better than ever.
But I found something to do that I love to do, so it never feels like work.
Yeah.
Can we rewind for a second? Just casually slipped in, like, I was friends with Lee Marvin.
He was a good friend.
So who wins in a fight, Lee Marvin or Lee Van Cleef?
Who wins in a fight?
Yeah.
Marvin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Bruce Lee.
Shut up. Lee Marvin or, okay, I could do this all day. Your grandmother, the first female brain surgeon in the United States?
My father's mother, yes. I don't know that she was the first, but she was a brain surgeon in 1906 when he was born.
She was the first.
Was she?
Yeah.
Well, you may know better than I. I haven't actually looked that up, but she was born. She was a Van Rensselaer.
Why would you?
You know, the landed Dutch upstate. So she was upper crust. And it was the source of antipathy between her and my father when he went off to do what he did, because he became an artist.
Yeah.
That was outre.
We're either running towards our parents or running away from them, aren't we?
One or the other.
Like, I ran away from my dad. You kind of ran toward, I think.
I loved him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you did Shakespeare as a kid with your dad?
Well, I did a scene from Shakespeare that I recorded on video with my mother. We actually did the closet scene from Hamlet, and she played Gertrude. I was 19. I was dreadful. But there was another occasion when there was I wanted to audition for the Globe in San Diego. They were going to do some Shakespeare, and I went in to audition for it. And I went to my dad to get coached, and he did what one should never do, because he wasn't a director, but he was a master of the bard. I mean, that was his thing. He knew that guy. He knew Shakespeare inside and out. And there was a speech that I had to give, and he sort of gave me a reading of it, as opposed to telling me what I should be thinking about. Well, then I went into this audition, and I tried to imitate my father, and it was just stupid.
We've mentioned hair a few times. You
Yeah.
have. Joe Montana started in hair.
Did he?
It seems like all the guys we have in here that we all look up to, hair seems to be the hub of. It seems to be ground zero for all of these acting
There's
careers.
a lot. Well, that late '60s, early '70s. I mean, I got into the show in New York in March of 1969. That's when I did it at the Aquarius for a couple of weeks, and then they sent me to New York, and I spent 11 months there. And wound up playing the lead role of Claude. And I was in there with Heather McRae. Melba Moore was in the cast when I was. Ben Vereen.
She's the inventor of Melba Toast. You
She
didn't know
is.
that?
No.
Yeah.
He
doesn't know
most
anything.
Of Melba less. But yeah, it was they were amazing people.
So this play that was such a seminal explosion. It was a cultural phenomenon.
Truly.
And everybody started it and everybody knows it. Where did it go? Like, how come nobody does it now?
Well, because you can't now.
Why? Because you're naked?
Well, that's part of it. They did a revival in New York, and I remember when and my good friend Shelley Plimpton, Martha's mom, and they went to see it, and she said it wasn't. I mean, all the girls they have landing patches. That's not right.
You got that big bush.
That's nobody shaved in
You're
those
a
days,
Thomas
you know?
guy and a
No,
weed
no,
whacker.
It was and but the other thing, I mean, that's sort of.
First of all, how about Martha
that's
Plimpton's mom criticizing the pubic
But she was
hair?
the original.
Also, how about some-
Shelley?
how
Shelley
about
was
some
the original
Merkins?
Chrissy.
Let's
So,
get, huh?
Shelley was the original Chrissy who sang
Yeah.
Frank Mills. So
Yeah, Merkins. Joe, I want to acknowledge
she
that was funny.
there at Merkins, yes. Well, we're all Merkins, aren't we? Anyhow, but the other thing that's missing is the Vietnam War.
The Merkin of Venice was actually. I almost tripped getting that out. I almost bumped heads with myself trying to get that fucking stupid joke out.
You got it out. That's good.
So it
no,
was
the Vietnam
counter-
War. The Vietnam War was this essential offstage prop that was there the whole time that show was being done, until we finally left in '73. After that, there's no offstage prop of the Vietnam War and that issue. That was a huge part of what was underneath everything that show was about. And Claude finally, winding up in uniform and going off and getting drafted at the end. The draft no longer existed. The war was over. That wasn't happening anymore. And so there was a certain relevance that was lost in terms of how that show related to whatever is happening sociologically with us now. And that's why now it's sort of a nostalgia piece. But the music is great. The
Is it,
songs
though?
are great. I think so.
Is it?
Oh, I love the songs. Yeah.
Is it?
I think so. I do, man. No, Galt McDermott, his sense of melody.
Full Bill
I'm just
Burr
being a
there.
Huh?
Went full Bill Burr there.
And Bill Burr. Is it? Really? Really? Like, I give a shit. How'd you like to be, private first class? You're from Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. You come under fire from the Viet Cong. You're laying in a rice paddy. You're underwater, breathing through a little straw for 2 days. And then I go, hold on, let me show you what's happening back home.
Right.
It's just a bunch of chicks with bushes running around on stage. I mean, talk about two completely different countries.
Oh, my. And there was an interesting moment. I wish I had a photograph of this, but my best buddy in high school, by the time a year out of high school, hanging, I was 67, 68, 2 years out of high school, I'm on Broadway playing Claude in Hair. He's in Special Forces in Vietnam. He's got his captaincy at one point. He's coming through New York on his way to Washington on military business in the Army. So I, the hippie playing on Broadway, meet him at the airport at Kennedy. And in those days, you could go right to the gate.
Yeah.
So I'm standing at the gate with my battered gray top hat and my serape and my hair down to here. And off comes this spit and polished green beret. And these two people meet and embrace. That, to me, is kind of a symbol of that time, of what was possible in terms of the humanity, of being able to be tolerant of one another's journey and not condemning either party for the choices they've made, that the friendship was deeper than that.
Yeah,
And
that's beautiful.
Yeah, it was a cool moment.
The more I learn about the Vietnam War, the more it's kind of flabbergasting that it happened.
Yeah.
And the more I learn about the Viet Cong specifically, I always thought like Viet Cong commies, they got to go. But it's like, if we're here and you're a Catholic,
Sure.
let's say we're all like 3 Catholics, and then the government comes in, puts a picture of, DM on the wall and says, no, that's who you worship.
Right.
And then we take it down. They come back and they beat the shit out of you. They kill him. They kill me. And here's the Viet Cong guy now. Like, basically, it was get the fuck out of my neighborhood and let me live in peace. Like, it was completely, I guess it was the first time I was fed propaganda and took it hook, line, and sinker.
Oh, we've all been susceptible to that, and we all tend to wind up in our own bubbles one way or another. We tend to tune into the stuff that we want to hear. We don't buy the stuff that we don't agree with. To have the conversation, and there are people out there that are trying to revive that.
Oh.
I think it's important that we do. But
you get in your bubble. You're right, because after the election, Keith, I was watching the quote unquote news. Yeah. It's not fake news. It's just news as we know it doesn't exist.
Just 24-hour entertainment news.
4 people debating something that happened isn't news. That's debating.
Right.
Hey, this is what happened. Now here's 3 people that agree with my version of it, and here's this one asshole that has a discerning opinion. We're all going to jump on him.
Right.
But after the election, I'm watching the news, and they were visibly upset about Trump winning.
Right.
And even though I loathe Donald Trump, I remember in that real time thinking, wait, you're supposed to be telling me what happened objectively.
Right.
And I realized my phone is just feeding me my POV, my likes. Like, okay, I stopped watching porn in October, right?
That's pretty recent.
A lifetime. Took a while. So like no porn, no pull since October.
Right.
My algorithm is completely different.
Right.
It's all stand-up comedians and people adopting dogs.
Right. Now it's interesting you mentioned that, because when I'm looking to escape,
you go to porn.
No,
you do porn.
I actually go to old comedy.
Yeah.
I love to watch the roasts that we don't do anymore. The Friars
we
Club
do
is
them.
gone.
They're just so
but
vile.
the Friars Club is gone.
Yeah.
And well, that video of the Sophisticates who does
the aristocrats.
The aristocrats.
Incredible.
Mind-boggling. You don't want to hear something stupid? I turned that down.
You did?
But I stand by it. I don't know what I will add to this. And
you don't know until you try.
It's Paul. I know, but God forbid I come up short and I'm judged by my peers, Keith. You know, there's that thing again.
What if
ego,
you surpass it, and then your wife leaves you?
And it's she's not going anywhere. She's not with me for my looks or my money. And it's Paul Provenza and Penn Jillette telling me, like, you know the joke. I'm like, yeah, like we're doing a documentary about the joke. I'm like, I don't get it. And they explain it to me again. They come to the house. The only other time that happened to me was the TV show Action, where Joel Silver, I had an offer and I kept turning it down. And they said, well, you're going to have to turn it down to Joel Silver's face. I said, okay. So I go to Joel Silver's office. He goes, I can't understand why you won't do this fucking TV show. I go, man, I'm doing these great independent movies. I'm doing Suicide Kings, Paulie, Go. He goes, who are you, fucking Parker Posey? And I went, I'll do it. Like, he looked at me with such disdain. Like, what are you, an artist?
Yeah, right.
Like, I'm offering you a lot of money here.
You know, that's kind of, it's funny. My career, and I got no regrets, man. I've been really fortunate. I've done, I'm proud of my body of work, but I have managed to avoid truly gigantic commercial fare. I've never been in a major blockbuster thing that went out and just did that. Not once have I wound up in one of those. The closest I came was when we did Cowboys and Aliens a few years ago. That was a big budget movie, and it was, it was Harrison and Daniel Craig and Olivia Wilde, and Favreau was directing. It was massive. This production was huge, and I had a good part in it. And I thought, maybe this is the one that's going to be the breakthrough, and I'll be in the club.
Keith, no. I think that every goddamn time.
Every fucking time.
Every time I'm like, this is going to be so big.
Here's what when I was
they
doing
release it on Viewmaster.
When I was doing Will Rogers on Broadway, and we did a thing during the Christmas season where the Broadway shows got together. And this is a big musical that I was in, and we all got together and picked a shelter and fed Christmas dinner to the people that were at the shelter. So I'm there serving Christmas dinner with the rest of the cast. And there's this guy, and he's been on the street forever. You can tell, right? And he's looking at me, and he finally gets up in front of me, and I said, "Turkey?" He says, "Yeah." I said, "You want stuffing?" He says, "Yeah." I said, "What are you doing?" And then he looks at me and he says, "So, when are you going to make some more of those movies nobody goes to see?" That's my audience.
They're cynics. Yeah, it's amazing how rude. I can't even. What am I saying? I'm not saying anything. Just leave it alone. It's perfect.
You can't top that one.
You did a gunfight with Johnny Cash.
That was my first, yeah.
I believe. Is it true you made $150,000 for that?
Ha!
No?
For a gunfight with Johnny Cash? That was my first movie. I might have got $500.
What movie did you? Wow. Who took these notes?
Did you know Johnny Cash from around Ojai?
I did not. I knew he had a reputation because he started a fire when he was there, up in the Sespe, I think, or somewhere. Anyhow, but he was great. Great.
What's it like first day on set, you see the Man in Black?
I mean, I was intimidated, but it was my first movie, so I was intimidated anyway. And I had to do a scene opposite Kirk Douglas, where he guns me down.
Oh, my God.
And but Johnny was, it was interesting because it was his first movie and mine. He was a legend. I was a newbie.
He parlayed that into a couple episodes of Columbo. He went the wrong way with it. I mean, I love Columbo, but you don't go, if I do a movie, maybe I'll be a guest star on TV.
Well, that wasn't his thing, was it? I mean, he was the Man in Black.
He was always that. Yeah. He was good, though.
Yeah.
He's just
the best.
He lit a. Is it true that movie was funded by the Apache Nation?
Yes. And in fact, I got out of a ticket because of that.
Go on.
So David comes up. He comes up. I finished. He comes up he watches my dailies with me, And I had my Corvette. I drove there in my Corvette, and he says, "Well, I'll drive back with you." So he and I take off together in the Corvette, and it's nighttime, and we're headed north out of Santa Fe, and we're headed across, and we're going to go through the desert and down, and it was a full moon, and I said, "Let's try this." So we turned off the lights, and we were driving on this highway and the desert was just lit by moonlight, and you could see everything, And we're driving along, and there's the lights come on. And so they pull us over, and this highway patrolman comes out, and we were on the Jicarilla Apache reservation, and he was an Apache, highway patrolman, whatever, and he looked at my license, and he said, Carradine, and I said, yeah, he's, what are you doing here? And I said, well, I just finished working. He said, what did you work on? And I said, I was doing this movie, a gunfight. He said, yeah, we funded that. Slow down. He gave me my license back.
Was it filmed on their land? That's why they funded it?
I think some of it was.
How does that happen?
I'm not sure how that happens, but it happened in some way. I mean, it was a Columbia picture, as I recall. And we were shooting on this Western set that is still there outside of Santa Fe. But I suspect that whatever the politics are between the New Mexican government and the tribal governments that are part of the state, there was some arrangement that was made where the tribe would cooperate and help with certain things, locations or whatever, and they participated in whatever the movie made, which was nothing. So
you're left-handed, and you play guitar. Out of these left-handed,
I play guitar right-handed.
Right. We covered that.
Yeah.
So out of these left-handed guitarists, not who's the best guitarist, who do you enjoy the most? Hendrix, McCartney, Cobain, or Tommy Iommi from Sabbath?
Peter Fonda.
Okie dokie.
Peter was a friend.
Write-in vote.
And he played guitar left-handed.
But out of these guys?
Out of those guys. Give me the list again.
Hendrix. Heard of him? Paul McCartney. Kurt Cobain, Tommy Iommi.
Hendrix.
I'm going to go McCartney for me.
But you're talking guitar.
Just who do you like listening to the most?
Well, listening to the most, yeah, McCartney. But that's a different subject. Just
that's the
guitar.
subject on the table.
Well,
because there is no answer other than Hendrix.
If it was just guitar,
it's Hendrix.
Yeah, it's Hendrix.
Yeah,
but overall, yeah, I'd say McCartney. Yeah, I'm a Beatles fan, man.
The best.
The best.
So the other one I was going to ask you, who's your favorite Muppet?
Oscar.
Very nice.
Oh yeah, I love Oscar. C is for Cookie.
No, that's Cookie Monster.
Oh, that's Cookie Monster.
You like Cookie Monster?
I do.
One's blue, one's green. You know which one's which?
Yeah.
Okay. So
but my brother David did not. He was colorblind.
Really?
Yeah.
He had trouble with blues and greens?
Uh-huh.
And orange?
Well, he loved the blues. I play a lot of greens.
Is Dennis Wilson the most underrated guy from that era?
Probably. He tried to teach me to surf.
I don't think people realize
He was the only one that did.
he was
Of the Beach
incredible.
Boys. Yeah.
Pacific Ocean Blues. I've been holding on to that since we were talking about Laurel Canyon.
Yeah. He was a good guy.
Did you ever hear Charlie Manson's music?
No.
Mm.
But apparently my brother Dave
Pull
had
it
a
up for
moment
him.
with him. So
We're gonna play
You
it
had a
for you
moment
right.
with him? Is that what you said?
Wait, what'd you say?
Dave had a moment with Charlie. Yeah.
What kind of moment?
Well, I think he was out on that northwest end of the valley, with Spawn Ranch.
Spawn Ranch.
Kind of, I think he was out there and he had sort of a lost night. And it was after that David came back to Laurel Canyon, pretty much out there, and decided he was going to unlock everything, meaning other people's houses and, no more locks. And so he had kind of a night. He was naked and walking around unlocking things. And apparently Manson had been a part of that gathering that he was at that night. So
Well, that was a home game for
Yeah.
Manson.
Yeah.
Is it still out there, Spawn Ranch?
I don't believe so.
It's probably
But
like
I think
shitty
what
condos
the
now.
location that Tarantino used to
Incredible.
replicate that, it looked really right.
It sure did.
Yeah.
And you guys shot Deadwood up in like Santa Clarita?
Santa Clarita,
That blew my
at
mind.
Melody Ranch, which was Gene Autry's place.
Mm.
He had to be rolling over in his grave at the language that Milch came up with in that particular.
You know why I love Westerns so much? Everything's so fair. These days you go, don't mess with that guy, he's got a gun.
Yeah,
In Westerns they go, don't mess with that guy, he doesn't have a gun.
right.
Like, it's not fair.
No, there was an honor system.
Yeah. I drew one for you first. It's like, all right, take me to jail. Like, nobody snuck each other.
Yeah.
Oh, but this has been delightful. I hope you had a good time.
I
And
had a blast.
Everybody, make sure you watch Imperfect Women on Apple TV. If there's ever a YouTube clip, make sure you drop more stories on there. Let them know where Keith Ian Carradine was heard from. My man, you're the best.
You too. Thank you.
I wish
brother.
all guests were as easy as this.
Ah,
Thank
well,
you to the booker, Kyle,
I'm easy.
like Sunday morning. And, where do you keep your Oscar?
It's on a shelf in the living room. It's pretty.
My wife won an
traditional.
And she.
Ask that one the minute the show's over. Good.
What?
Ask that one the minute the show's over. Good.
I just figured we were still rolling.
The
Yeah,
Oscar,
we're-
the
shut up,
Oscar,
Joe.
the Oscar, and the Golden Globe are right there.
My wife won an Emmy for a documentary she made, and it really actually bothers me. She keeps it in her office.
Yeah,
I'm like,
it's not at home.
bring that shit home.
Yeah,
People will think it's mine. I'd make up a project. Oh, that's my Emmy from Celebrity Finger, my sister. We had a nice run.
we have people come over.
That's
friends
from the
and-
Mandrills episode.
and it's there. It's sitting there. No one ever even notices it or asks about it. It's just,
Do you think that's because you come from such Hollywood royalty that they just think that's what they should see when they walk into your house?
I have no idea, or maybe they just don't even know what it is because it's.
Everybody knows what an Oscar is.
You would think.
Jay Mohr's my uncle.